Hi everyone, this is Steph with Stampin' and Scrappin' with Steph, and I just wanted to wish all of you a happy 2021. I'm looking forward to sharing with you many fun projects this year. Today I'm going to show you how to make this really fun um, little parcels package using some new product. I know it's been probably about a month since I've posted here on YouTube. Like many of you, the holiday seasons just kind of take over, and this year was really no exception. So I'm happy to be back in action, planning some fun projects to share with you, hopefully weekly, and hopefully getting on a regular routine as I do post to YouTube. Now, if you follow me on Facebook, my page is Stampin' and Scrappin' with Steph as well, and I do most of my posting there. So be sure to check that out as well. All right, let's get started. So today's project is this fun little box. And like I said, there's some new products that I get to share with you. Now, the box is made from a die that is in our current annual catalog, and that is on page 182 where all of the dies are listed, but the page in the catalog is page 37, and that's the Parcels and Petals stamp set, and then the coordinating die is the Perfect Parcels die. So I'm not actually using the stamp set today. I am just going to focus on using the die to make the base of my box, but this is the page right here, 182, and so you can see right here the little box that gets made. But the fun part is I get to share with you some products that are available in the new Sale-a-bration and our mini catalog, which in just 2 short days, or day and a half depending on where you're located, these catalogs go live, and I'll actually be able to show you the stuff inside. But okay, so let me bring this back in. Okay, so the box itself is made from this really fun designer series paper here in the back, and that's called Berry Delightful DSP. And this is a bundle with this fun stamp set called Berry Blessings. And you know what the best part is? You can earn this set for free. This paper and stamp set, like I said, is a bundle. You can earn this for free simply by placing an order with Stampin' Up. And this is our level 2 Sale-a-bration item. So if you place a $100 order out of any catalog, you can get the paper and the stamp set for free. How amazing is that, right? So most of our Sale-a-bration is usually with a $50 purchase. You get to choose something free in our Sale-a-brations catalog. But for this particular one, because it is a bundle, it's considered level 2, and if, like I said, with a $100 purchase, you can earn this for free. And what's really fun about this particular bundle is it coordinates with another bundle in the mini catalog. So it's like a twofer. And that is this Sweet Strawberry set. And this bundles with the Strawberry Builder Punch. So for this project, I'm going to use the paper, and then I'm going to use the stamp set and the punch to finish my embellishments here on the box. All right. And so the Sweet Strawberry bundle in our mini catalog is on page 44. So if you already have the catalog, you can see the products that I'm using. And then for the designer series paper and the Berry Blessing stamp set bundle, that's on page 14 of the Sale-a-bration catalog. And this paper is just darling. It's so fun. I mean, it's definitely, to me, like a summery kind of look. The blueberries, but they're just such vibrant colors, and they're just, it was just fun to use. So when I was I knew I wanted to use the Parcels, Perfect Parcels die. I haven't used that in a while. I feel like it's one of those forgotten products that I've bought, and then it just kind of sits there. And I don't know why, because it's just, it makes making a little box so easy. All right, so what do you need today? Let me move this aside. So I am using designer series paper to make the base of my box. You could certainly use, you know, cardstock. Just trim it down to what you need. The fun thing about this, so here's one side that I've already done, is I've cut my paper into thirds. So excuse me, you can see I've already cut with this one. So 4 inches wide by 12, and you can get 3 boxes out of one sheet of designer series paper. Okay. Then you're going to need, and then this is the other pattern that I used, is a strip of designer series paper that measures 1.5 by 7.5. And again, you could certainly use cardstock if you don't want to use the DSP for that. You will also need a strip of paper or some scrap papers. For this one, it's Poppy Parade. This is about 2.5 inches wide. You don't really need a lot because we're just going to be stamping some images and punching them out. You also need a little piece of Whisper White scrap, and then also some Granny Apple Green scraps. And you can see I've already kind of stamped or punched out of this one. Now, to make our box, you'll need to cut out 2 of these particular shapes, and that is in the Perfect Parcels die. So I'm going to take this one out right here because that's my greeting, and then this piece right here is what makes the box. So 2 of those. One of the things that I noticed when I made this one, because I'm using a paper that has a directional pattern, so if you look at it, the strawberries are all going in one direction. If I was using something like this as well, the little strawberry seeds are also kind of going in one direction. But if I was using the paper that kind of like this side, it's kind of all over, you don't really have to worry about the position of the paper. But what I realized when I did this one and kind of assembled it, the back side is upside down. So if that doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. We do have a right side upside. So just a little tip. So when you're getting ready to cut it out, you know, if you want your information, if you want the pictures to all kind of be going in the right way, then just make sure that you have your paper and the die set up the same. All right, so I'm going to move this stuff out of the way because I'm going to cut at once here. So I need this, this, this. Okay. So here is my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I'm sorry, I know my camera is a little on the closer side, but you can still get the gist of what I'm doing. So we're going to use our platform 1. And where did everything else go? Oh, it's over here. Sorry about that. Then you're going to need platform 2, the acrylic plate number 3, and this is a newer one. I don't want you to think that I don't use these till they're till they're to the point where it's like I can't even see what I'm cutting. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to use a fresh one just so you can clearly see. And so when you're doing the die, the part that I kind of get confused on was I had assumed this part was the bottom, and I thought this was the top, and that's not the case. This is the bottom, and then this is the top. So when I put this on my designer series paper, knowing that this is the bottom, this is the direction of the way the paper would be. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, and then we're going to add the second plate, number 3. Oops, let me move this. And then we're just going to crank that through, and cracking noises are fine. That's just the dies cutting through the paper, pressing against the acrylic. And we'll take this off. As you can see, here's the piece. All right, and then we just need to cut out this one here for our greeting. And for that, I'm just using a scrap white. And crank that through. And then that is all I'm using the machine for. So let's pop this up and move it out of the way. All right, so I'm going to bring our pieces back. Okay, so I just want to make sure I have everything in front of me that I need to get started with. And I dropped my strip of paper somewhere, which is always the way. So I'm going to cut my strip right now, and of course once I cut it, that's when I'll find it. So using my Stampin' trimmer, I'm going to use this patterned piece here. I'm going to cut it to 1.5. And then to 7.5. All right. So there is some tricky parts to putting together this box, and that's why I wanted to make sure I take my time showing this to you. It did take me a minute, and that could be one of the reasons why I kind of bought this die and then never really used it. But all right, so it's hard to see on the camera, but there are these score lines, and so we're going to fold, and I'm just going to press a little bit with my bone folder to get a nice crease, especially where the score lines are kind of light. And then we have these two little, my apologies, I'm off the camera, two little tabs here. Okay, and then down this end, you'll see right here, there's a little triangle thing. Same thing over here. So I'm going to use my fingers to kind of press on those, and it'll make more sense once we start putting the box together. So now I'm going to take my second piece, fold on the score lines, and because I am using DSP, the creases are a little bit easier to kind of deal with. If you were using cardstock, you know, you definitely want to get a good burnish to make sure the box closes nice and neatly. Okay, so now we have our folds, and you'll see we have two tabs here. Now for this project, I am going to use liquid glue. I'm not usually a fan of liquid glue, I think because I'm always messy. But because we're just dealing with these two little tabs, I want to make sure it stays nicely. And then you have a little bit of wiggle room to moving stuff around if you just don't get it lined up right. Alright, so I'm adding, of course now it doesn't want to come out, some Tombow there. Make sure my paper is in the same direction. And it's hard to see on camera, but I'm going to be lining up my score lines. Not necessarily the length of the paper, but I want to make sure my score lines match. So I'm going to go here and here. And then you'll see how you can move it around just a little bit if it shifts. All right, and then flip it over, and I'm going to add some adhesive, the liquid glue here, to these two tabs. And then I'm just going to fold this side, and it should line up just right. And if it doesn't, like I said, with the liquid glue, you have enough time to move these around. And that was one of the mistakes I made when I first kind of worked on this box, is I didn't realize you really didn't need to worry about the top and bottom edges. It was more making sure these two score lines here line up. So now you have the top of the box, and you can see my strawberries are both sides going in the right direction. Okay, so to do the bottom of the box here, and that was the part that I was confused on. I thought that this little I don't know, curved tab here was the top, but it's not. So what you're going to notice here is you have these two edges right here and I think right here that have like a triangle on them. Okay, so I'm going to add my liquid glue to the insides of both of these, but first I want to push my sides down. Okay, so push those down. You're going to add your liquid glue to your tabs. Okay, and then we're going to push down. Okay, and then we're going to, and hopefully this works right. Oop. So come on, push and then pull. So you see I've put my tabs down, so now I'm pushing so that kind of folds flat. And then when you goodness. So let's try this again. Sorry about that. All right. So my triangle tabs are down. And then you pull your box. So they're going to fold on the inside. Hopefully that makes sense. And then when you push it open, it's connected. And you see how it folds on those score lines. Okay, so put adhesive on the inside of these two triangles. Okay, with your bottom tabs in, you hold and then you pull till it's flat. And then that puts the adhesive where it needs to be, and then you can open your box. And then here's your top. So I know it's, like I said, it's hard to see all the score lines, but there's these little cutouts here on the sides, right here and here. Okay, and then we have the triangles here and here. And these need to create a point for the outside. So we're going to pinch our box closed, and you'll see now we have these little tabs here that stick up. So you're going to fold down. See, it's folded down. And then we're going to insert it into this panel right there. Okay. And again on this side. Just like that. Push it in. Okay, and then that's the super cute little box. Oh my god, how adorable. To open this, you just pop these sides up and then the box will lift open. And you can add, you know, whatever you need inside. And the nice thing too is you can create these in advance, and let's just say you're not ready for assembly. Have it glued together and then they will store flat, and then when you need to fill them, just pop it up, fill, push down, add your things in here, and then you can finish it off. You don't need adhesive to hold this closed. Okay, but I'm going to do this little cute belly band here. I thought was so fun, and then these like little 3D type of strawberries. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here. And to do my belly band, I'm starting with a 1.5 by 7.5 inch strip of paper. And I'm just going to lightly wrap this around my box. Okay. And I'm going to pay attention to like where the sides end, so where it creates that fold, and I'm going to pinch. So same as pinch. And then I'm going to do that on this side, and then again on this side. Take it off, and then I'm going to fold on those lines and just burnish with my bone folder. And that just gives a nice crease when it wraps around the box. Just like that. I'm going to, let's see, I think this is, add my Stampin' Sale here. And I usually keep my seams on the top because I feel like when I decorate the top, it hides that. Alright. And then you can see when it's on your box, it just slides easily. And that's what's important, is making sure it slides. Alright, so we are going to stamp some strawberries. And what I did was, as you can see, I've already done 1 and 2. So to create the 2 little 3Ds, you need two punched images. One of the things I noticed when I was stamping for the original one was spacing. Spacing became important. Because the punches other elements out, you need to keep in mind when you stamp. So it's almost like an every other kind of situation. So I had stamped all the way down thinking I could just punch them out, but I didn't realize that these two kind of got in the way. So the easiest way is just to give yourself enough space. So here's the image from the strawberry, or sweet strawberry. I'm going to stamp it in the same color, the strawberry, excuse me, the Poppy Parade. And the other thing too is when you insert your paper into the punch, the strawberry is in this direction, upside down. Which, you know, if you cut a strip of paper is not a big deal because you can insert it either way. But just keep that in mind when you're stamping, to kind of stamp the image upside down. So I just need 2 more. So I'm just going to space this out. And then insert my punch upside down. That's the best way that I like to punch. And punch. And punch. And you'll see you get all these extra little bits that you don't need, but that's okay. When they make these punches, there's really no way around that unless you really only insert a small piece of paper, but I find that can be tricky holding it steady. Alright, and now we're going to do the leaves. So I did 3 leaves and 2 stems. So the trick for this is, and I don't know if you guys already know this, but there's a way to get the stamped images in the right spot or the right position so that when you insert the paper into the punch, it all lines up easily. Alright, so we create like a template. And the easiest way to do that is you just take a piece of paper, no stamped image, no nothing, and you're just going to punch it out. Okay? And then you have this, let's see, I think it goes this way. Okay, so then you have this template or stencil type of look punched out. Then you're going to take the stamps that fit in those spots. Make sure they're upside down, you know, the stamped side down, and you just put them in the little opening there and just kind of line them up. So fit them in the little opening. Now I'm not stamping or punching out that little flower there, but if it makes you line things up better having that little opening filled than just grab it. It can't harm anything. And you could always use the flower on a different project. Oop. Try not to move the paper too much. And then what you do is you just take your block and pick up the stamps, okay? And then we're going to get our Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to stamp, let's see, I'm going to go here, 1, 2, and I should be able to get one right here on the edge there. That's really stretching the paper. Alright, so now we're going to take our punch, and because I'm not worrying about the strawberry part, I'm just going to insert it enough to cut out these images and then punch. And there's not a lot of lining up to do because of stamping first and then using that template. And one more. All right. So let's get rid of the little bits we don't need. Now, because I needed 3 leaves, I ended up with 3 stems, which is not a problem. You can just discard that or use it, you know, again, if you punch at a later time. All right. So to create our strawberries, the little 3D strawberries here, we're just going to take one and you're just going to fold it in half. Just like that. All right, and then we have 2 that are flat. So what I did was I added some Tombow on this fold. And then I'm just going to stick this straight down. And I apologize if I keep going off a camera. I got a new stand for Christmas that holds both my iPad and my cell phone. It's an Acron stand, and I had to adjust everything, so I need to remember I can't move back the way that I used to. So I'll get used to that. It comes with time. All right, and then to do the little stem part here, you're going to fold the stem, this little piece up, okay? And then I'm going to take my bone folder and cut and curl the leaves down. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. So curl my leaves down, and then make sure my stem is sitting up. All right, so these should have a little bit of a minute or two to kind of dry, just so it stays in position. But I'm going to add my Tombow here to the top. It's a little more than I need, but that's all right for now. And then I'm going to take the stem and sit it on the top like that. So then you can kind of see, because we curved the leaves, it will drape down a little bit. And then we'll do it to this one. So this project is fun because you don't really use a lot of adhesive. I probably used more than I needed. And there's the second one with the liquid glue, but you know, it happens. So I'm just going to quickly clean that stamp, and now I'm going to get my greeting. And the greeting is also from that sweet strawberry. And I did hello, hello there. Put this on. I'm also going to use the Poppy Parade. And I'm stamping a little bit more to the right because I know I'm going to tuck the words under. And now I'm going to take my box and I'm going to use glue dots. I found this is the best way for positioning. And because the strawberries that I made are already like a 3D type of image, I didn't want to add any more height, if that makes sense. So now I'm just adding some glue dots. I'm kind of playing around with where I want the leaves to go. You could certainly do some ribbon or some, rhinestones or pearls. And then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to add some glue dots to the back of my strawberries. And I'm going to try to be gentle because the glue isn't 100% dry. So my stem is kind of moving around a little bit. And I stuck this one here. And actually, I'm just going to put the glue right down. Now, just like that. And then I did add a dimensional under the greeting on one side here, and then that kind of got tucked under just like that. All right, and then that's it. It just slides on and off with ease. You can open the box with no problem. So I hope you've enjoyed the projects today. Here's the one that I made earlier, and then this is the one that we did today. I think the possibilities are endless with this paper pack, and I just want to say thank you guys for joining me today, and I hope you have a nice day. Happy New Year.